police officer who's come under fire on social media for lacing the shoe of Abdullahi Ganduje, the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress. Rufai, Vimbai, please take a look at this video showing this young officer who's not been identified as of yet. Is this what our politicians are turning our police officers into at this moment? My father was a police officer, and you know how it makes me feel at this point.
Have you had worse cases?
Tell me.
Please, you need to see all these police guards that got big men. You need to see the things they do. It's only lacing shoe you have seen. They are more that are deeper than that. Yes. So, but the question is, can't Mr. Ganduje lace his shoes again?
What happened there?
Or the policeman just wanted to help him lace his shoe. You see, that's kind of the system we have built. In a sane environment, you don't have over half of your police force guarding VIPs. If this environment was sane, you would never need to guard VIPs in the first place, because there's going to be general holistic security across board.
Right.
There are some climes in the world that lawmakers, top politicians, don't even have police guard, or they have to request for them on special cases after threats. There are some climes in the world that you will get into a train with politicians go around, and these big men feed them morning, afternoon, night. A man that feeds you morning, afternoon, night, you will lace his boots. That's just it.
Yeah.
So if, like Dr. Abati said, a governor of his state can go and prostrate in front of his godfather, how much more police officer that they are feeding morning afternoon? It's unacceptable, but Oji, is that not a reflection of our country?
Yeah.
Is that not what led to, you see the Chinese man giving them, how much was it counting for them in the hands?
We saw that story.
So when that happens to a foreigner, we scream blue murder. What about this?
You're
politician saying, go down, lace my shoe. And he was laughing, he was enjoying it. Sweet treat.
I know he wants to say.
Dr. Ganduje may not have asked him to lace his shoes.
Okay.
The man himself will voluntarily do it.
Okay.
Do you know whether that policeman has collected salary? Maybe it's Ganduje that is paying his salary. So you will be loyal to him.
Yes.
In fact, you say you are...
I'm a doctor of a police.
You have not seen policemen carrying bag for madam.
I have seen
following wives of politicians.
That's why I thought I should highlight
to the market.
We need to reform the police. True.
And they will be very happy to do it.
Don't do that. So somebody was telling me about it.
No, they carry bags.
I don't have places of one watching policeman.
No. This is unacceptable.
Okay, but it's not acceptable. We shouldn't say that.
No, but that's what's happening.
But that's what's happening.
Highlighted this.
No, that's what's happening.
Speaking about the state of our police officers.
You see an adult who has a wife and children at home. They will give him bags to carry. And he will be very happy carrying madam's bag.
Can you just imagine this? Well, speaking about the state of our police officers. Yes. Let's see how friendly they are. Meanwhile, a video that is now making the rounds on social media showed a Nigerian police officer climbing a Mercedes-Benz with reasons yet unknown. Let's take a look. Vimbai is a police officer, not VIO. What was he doing on the... What is happening?
He's casting for a movie.
I hope it's a movie.
It's a movie, right?
This is on...
They will respond as if
I'm glad you showed this video, because before that I had an unpopular opinion, but I'll balance out the two.
Great.
My take on the first video, very unpopular opinion by the way, but I don't mind, is that have you noticed that if you travel overseas, the police will help elderly people cross the street?
Yes.
They will help even if it's children, if they need help with something and so forth. And I feel Ganduje, besides his role as maybe his orderly or he would be an orderly, he's older than him, and he saw that he needed help with something. And our culture specifically is about young people. If you see an elder in need, you rush to do it, right?
In uniform.
So yes, why not?
Uniform.
Yes, why not? No, this is my. That's why I said no. Don't come for me because
But they couldn't have. What about the other people standing there?
Rufai,
it's fine.
I already read out the disclaimer that it's an unpopular opinion. So for me personally, I didn't think the video was a big deal, because I just felt it was a young man who saw something that needed to be done, and he was proactive, and he helped his elder do it. And for me, I don't think it's a big thing.
Okay.
However, when we now see his colleagues rolling on windscreens, it now becomes very difficult on cars.
Don't they have people that are supposed to be?
It just reminds you know we're laughing about it, but you know, insecurity is at an all-time high across the nation. And this is the time that we need our police to be at their best. We need, I'm not sure what mission they're carrying out there, but their services and their attention is needed in Borno, in Benue, in Plateau State, in Bauchi, the list can go on and on and on. So I wish that we didn't have a situation where we're watching these videos and having to have a moment of comic relief from them, because their services are actually desperately needed in other parts of the country. country, and we don't need to be saying this.
I really, really think that police officers need to respect their role as security officers, not people that tie shoelaces or carry bags, as Dr. Abati has seen.
And the other young men around them, probably those men, based on the bias model, they are irresponsible.
Right.
How would they see Ganduje, the other young men, they are standing there, they are lying police tie shoe, and they are looking at the police? They must be irresponsible men. Yes.
Oh, well, all right. Shall we head over now to Niger State? In a continued show of unity, Niger State Governor Umar Bago has once again been spotted in a church despite being a Muslim. Bago over the weekend visited the Living Faith Church, where he delivered a message of peace and love to the people of Niger State, and in recognition of his commitment to development beyond religion, ethnicity, or political affiliation, he was presented with a symbolic gift. Let's take a look.
When I walked into this church, I said to myself, it cannot be a coincidence. This is a revelation. But I have read from Genesis to Revelation. But I saw 2025, my new era. And I said, my new Niger.
Oh, I love this. This was so beautiful. Please, really, we have to applaud this show of unity. I saw you having goosebumps. We know the governor has consistently demonstrated inclusive leadership, governing with equity and a strong sense of responsibility. This should be encouraged across board. On Monday, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission denied a viral report from BBC Pidgin claiming it disclosed the reasons behind the detention of activist Martin Socher, also known as Very Dark Man. The BBC quoted EFCC spokesperson Dele Oyewale as saying that the activist was arrested based on several petitions filed by individuals with grievances against him, adding that he would be released once he meets the bail conditions and be charged to court. However, in a twist of events, the EFCC, in a post on X, debunked the report as fake news. Meanwhile, supporters of Very Dark Man have trooped out en masse, demanding his release, using the hashtag FREEVDM now. Let's take a look.
Shown the message to the world that as Nigerians we must protest against every oppression. We must protest against injustice. Leave media for us. Leave media for us.
Because see as VDM, small VDM, see as he block road, who's small? See as he block road. Only VDM, 9 block this side. Yes, yes, free VDM, see as he block road.
Free VDM, free VDM, free VDM. Let's go.
Well, quite the protest here, Rufai. But you know, the story that came out yesterday was that, you know, EFCC had released a statement saying that, you know, the Very Dark Man was going to be charged to court. He was petitioned by several people, and now they've debunked it, which I felt it was quite disrespectful of the EFCC to be able to debunk news as fake news on their Twitter handle without telling us what really is going on with VDM. Let me take this tweet before I come to you, Rufai. This person wrote, as of now, the EFCC has provided no official statement, no clear charges, no legal justification, just silence and detention. That is not how a just system operates. We must stop criminalizing boldness. We must stop punishing the voices that refuse to kneel until there's lawful justification and due process. This arrest is unjust. Rufai.
So please, EFCC should save themselves all of this embarrassment. They put fake news on people's tweets. Yesterday, they even put fake news on my tweets. EFCC, I have facts. Because I also spoke to sources in the EFCC that said the same thing the BBC reported. And if they want to challenge me further, I have facts. If they want to challenge me further, I have facts that I spoke to sources in the EFCC that said that. The problem, what is going on with them is that there's a contention internally. At first, they want to get the charges out first before they release a statement. That is what is happening. And the process of getting those charges out is still delaying. And my advice has always been, do not allow for an information lacuna. And that's why when I was speaking to those were my exact words. Don't allow for an information lacuna. Accept, and also the fact that it was a multi-security agency exercise that happened. So, and that was why I reposted that story yesterday. I reposted that story when I saw it on the BBC because I thought, oh, they'd even come out to take a position on this. Vanguard too also spoke yesterday to some EFCC sources that said the same thing. In fact, they even set a date where it's going to be released. But I, Rufai Hussein, can authoritatively confirm to you, I spoke to EFCC sources. And if they want to challenge me, I would provide my facts. And that was what they said. So maybe in the coming days, they'll be able to release, what is it called, a statement with the charges against him.
Yes.
Every state, in fact, every media house, TV station reported, most TV stations reported it yesterday.
Yeah, it's quite
Secondly,
viral.
this constantly keeping this man, and the way he was arrested is in gestaporic style. I'm not saying people cannot write petitions against him. It's for you to investigate the petition. Let the man have his day in court. And that's why you're seeing all these protests.
Yes.
That's just pure and simple.
And like I said earlier, I feel like it is quite disrespectful for the EFCC not to release a statement, given the fact that there's all of these, outrage out there, people out there, young voices out there protesting against this sort of abduction, as it were. I'll take this tweet from Atiku Abubakar. He actually has reacted to VDM's arrest in a post on X. He described the arrest as a blatant abuse of power by the Tinubu administration and condemned the activist's continued detention without formal charges. His tweet reads, "The arrest and continued detention of social media influencer and outspoken critic Martin Osher, widely known as Very Dark Man, by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission is yet another blatant abuse of power by the Tinubu administration, which has made political repression a hallmark of its rule. Even more alarming is the fact that Martin Osher remains in custody without any formal charges is a flagrant violation of his constitutional rights and a chilling reminder of the growing authoritarianism under this government. This latest episode is part of a disturbing pattern, the Tinubu regime's relentless assault on the fundamental freedoms of Nigerians, particularly those who dare to speak truth to power or align with the political opposition. We must not allow state-sponsored repression to become the defining character of our democracy, while security agencies are quick to target dissenters and critics, often in complete disregard of due process. Political loyalists with credible allegations of corruption walk free, trading psychophancy for immunity. The Tinubu administration's systematic crackdown on opposition voices is nothing short of disgraceful. It is an affront to democratic norms and must be fiercely condemned and resisted. A quick comment from you before we move to the next story.
I mean, I think long and short of it is that the public deserves an explanation. Yes. He's obviously a gentleman who has a massive following, and people have come out. Remember, we took videos of people who have been impacted by him positively. So there are people who are worried about him. And the longer the AFCC takes to speak, the more the window of legality becomes questionable.
Yes.
So it's really important for us at this stage to be able to preserve, Dr. Abati might correct me, it's called habeas corpus, right? Which is around unlawful detention. Yeah. Because we can't degenerate to a country where, people, now we've set a precedent where people can just be detained and held without explanation. I was just reading a statement from Deji Adeyanju, I believe from this morning, where he's saying that he's yet to receive, as the lawyer, an official petition from the EFCC. So he still doesn't know, in his own words, he still doesn't know why his client is being detained.
Oh, but I thought he released a statement. The law firm released a statement saying that it was cyber stalking that he was being arrested for. He was being detained for. Yeah, we read that full statement yesterday. EFCC did show them a document, according to Deji, saying that he was held on the grounds of cyber stalking.
So you can see that EFCC now has now shot themselves in the foot, because if Deji Adeyanju claims they showed them a document that talked about cyber stalking, and they said the BBC story was false, you can see EFCC are the ones lying.
Yeah, BBC
because that's what BBC reported.
No, BBC is reporting multiple
and including cyber stalking. Okay. So that means you can see EFCC in coming out to say fake news to the BBC was wrong. So you can see why they are not correct with their facts.
I think we just plead with the EFCC at this point that
come out with a statement. Don't give an information like that.
Lay out the facts just to cool the tempers.
All right. I mean, like I said, the rule of law must be obeyed, and we demand a written response as to the detention of very dark man. We'll take another story now in River State. As discussions of reconciliation take center stage, some concerned Niger Delta stakeholders are urging the suspended governor, Sim Fubara, to control his supporters, warning that their protests and actions could undermine the ongoing reconciliation efforts between him and FCT Minister Nyesom Wike. They specifically pointed to recent demonstrations, including the walkout by pro-Fubara women during the First Lady's Empowerment Program in the state last week. The women staged a walkout when Theresa, wife of Ibok Ete Ibas, the sole administrator of the state, was invited to speak. The women got up and left the hall, chanting slogans like, "Bring back Fubara. We don't know Ibas." Let's take a look. Has been cracking up. Well, I read one comment. Some people were saying, "No, be our mama BD, so it's already." No, but I'm reporting the news. No, be our mama. But apparently, I believe that some women have come out to say that they were expecting the First Lady to speak and not, the sole administrator's wife. But
the sole administrator's wife is already speaking.
She's okay, hold on, Rufai, can we speak? Okay, hold on. Before I come to you. Meanwhile, the minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, blamed Governor Sim Fubara for the walkout, describing the incident as both disturbing and embarrassing. The FCT minister further accused Fubara of double standards, stating that while the governor is begging President Tinubu behind closed doors, he is also sponsoring protesters to embarrass the president's wife in public. Dr. Abati, over to you.
Well, I think the clarification has been made by River State women themselves that they were not embarrassing Mrs. Senator Remi Tinubu. We all know that Senator Remi Tinubu has been doing a number of programs that we have commended on this program. That event was meant for 500 participants, for women, in support of women and all of that. Now, when the event was advertised, even some of the T-shirts that the women were wearing had the picture of the First Lady of Nigeria and also that of Mrs. Fubara.
Yes.
But as the event progressed, it turned out that Dr. Theresa Ibas, the wife of the sole administrator, suddenly showed up to be the one to give the speech about the Renewed Hope initiative of Senator Remi Tinubu. It was at that point that the women decided to stage a walkout to say that, look, we have no business with Ibok Ete Ibas' wife. Our business is with the governor that we voted for. And we have made this point again and again. That look, the sole administrator is not an elected representative. But his body language has been showing that, in fact, he is behaving as if he's an overlord. And now he has brought his wife into the matter, allowing her to be making speeches all over the place. Was she part of the Gazette that President Tinubu proclaimed? I've gone back to look at that proclamation. There was no reference to Dr. Theresa Ibas there. And she too had the confidence to come there and be offering speeches. Yes. So that's why, the women just walked out.
How can you blame them?
That we don't recognize you. You are unknown to the Nigerian Constitution. Anyway, that's the first leg of it. The second leg of it is Liri Olayinka speaking on behalf of the Minister of the Federal Republic, saying this is a man who is looking for reconciliation. Now he is sponsoring people to be abusing the First Lady. But they've clarified it. It's not First Lady of Nigeria that was being attacked. No. It was that woman. They didn't want her to speak. But they left the hall. The program, we were told, continued. But they had made their point. Even it was a symbolic protest to say that, no, they don't want the wife of the sole administrator. Now, it's not only the minister of the FCT who has said this man is looking for reconciliation, he is sponsoring people. Well, Governor Fubara himself has not come forward to say he has been sponsoring people. But the president of Mosiend, That is the survival of Ijaw nationalities in Niger Delta, organization. I think his name is Tongo West. He too has advised that, look, Governor Fubara should call his followers to order. Engineer Udengs Eradiri has also said a similar thing. Now, but the thing about the one day, one trouble situation that they have in Rivers State is that sometimes this kind of protest gets out of control. The people who are protesting, they are also citizens of Rivers State. I looked at the video. They are adults, to the best of my knowledge. They can make their own choice and say, this is what we think is good for Rivers State. But Udengs Eradiri was making the point that all the people who were pushing the Governor Fubara, all these elders, saying Wike is the problem, Wike is the problem. Many of those elders have gone very quiet. So this is the thing I don't understand also about our people. But reconciliation, yes, we cannot recommend anything otherwise. And we've been told that Fubara himself has gone to prostrate for the godfather, for some Wike,
kiss the ring.
The godfather of Rivers State politics, as it were. They said he went there the first time, he went there the second time, he prostrated. In fact, some elder statesmen, politicians also followed him there.
Okay.
But those ones did not prostrate.
They didn't, okay.
No, they accompanied them.
Fubara prostrated?
But no, there was a confirmation somewhere that Fubara
prostrated.
6 months suspension.
Is it easy?
6 months suspension.
But in any case, what is important here is that efforts have been made to reconcile the warring parties. And even the Senate is now saying it will look into the Rivers State matter and try to reconcile all the gladiators. For what reason? I think for peace to reign. And for the people of Rivers State to have back in office the people that they voted for, either at the governorship level or at the local government level, and for the democratic process in Rivers State to be reinstated. That's the larger objective.
All right.
Yes.
I'd like to take this story that, caught my attention. I'm showing this on
Do you listen to that? Can you imagine? It's our Nigeria police. This is what they have reduced them to be. Yes. Because many reasons why you see security policeman lacing Ganduje's shoe. It could be voluntarily, yes, but if in a well-respected country, you cannot see a Western police doing that. No, it's an offense. You can't do it. If you're shoeless, you can do that by yourself, or call your party members there to lace your shoe for you if you cannot go down to lace your shoe. That's why you see the other one that day when the Chinese ridicule our policemen. These are the reasons. You don't know, like Abati said, Rufai said, brilliantly said it. You don't know if those people, if Ganduje is even the one paying them. You don't know if government is not paying them, and they need to be loyal to their Oga. So what they are gaining from Oga is more better than what the federal government is giving them. But the police are guiding these are guiding these citizens, guiding these people, politicians. The numbers of police attached to these people is more than the police fighting criminal in the country. So these are the problem. These are the problem. Now you see them. Can you imagine? Where would you see this happen? Some people will say it, and it doesn't mean anything. It's a sign of respect. No, not with uniform. It's a sign of respect. He's older than him. No, he's older than him. That uniform should be respected. Do you understand? So, anyways, that is it. So, that's Nigeria for you. And you see the other one jumping on the Mercedes Benz, looking for what? You praise them in one side, you hate them in the other side. So, what are they doing right? What are they not doing right? How would you see a policeman jump on another person's Benz? In what? In what? What are you looking for? What are you looking for? What are you finding? That just imagine. So many reasons like that. Anyways, please share this video. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'll be your guide now. Subscribe.